All right, folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. It's been 2-ish weeks, maybe 3 weeks since we've done a Pokemon video update, but if I don't do the stupid video, you guys are just blowing me up nonstop on Patreon messages. We are talking about this insanity with Scarlet Violet and how the market has swung, and everybody believes Scarlet Violet was the end of Pokemon. Literally, in the last 2 years, Scarlet Violet has just been met with nothing but idiots on the internet saying it's all over with and going to zero. Now we've got, as the tide continues to evolve, even base set Scarlet Violet's $100 plus tax on TCG Player. Paradox Rift suddenly was not going to zero, and it's a great set. And now the brand new, I know, Mr. P, Paldea, was it 135, 140 a box already plus tax? Don't buy that, it's gonna take. It's just, and now we're met with the newest Pokemon set, the Twilight Masquerade. The one that Rudy's called the Twilight Masquerade, the Eyes Wide Shut set, the Pokemon with hidden masks and they do inappropriate things in the woods. I need to give a little backstory here. So when this product came out a few months back, I told you all I overordered. I always overorder all Pokemon booster boxes because I want to keep as much as possible, and I've done it so long. I've been in Pokemon doing bulk and wholesale all this crap for 10 years now. It's an instinct call. And Twilight came out, and I had around 3 patrons. That's it, 3 patrons. We're talking like some tiny 100th of 1% of you all, okay? Of like the number of patrons and viewers and everything. Like 3 patrons bought the max amount of Twilight boxes from me when I was selling them at release. And if you bought the max amount, which was like 24 boxes or a couple cases, I was offering for like $95 a box shipped. And literally a couple people bought them. Couple. It wasn't even 5 people. And everybody was negative. Rudy, thanks, but I don't understand why you overcharge everything and you charge more than everyone, and they close their accounts and get angry at me, and then they screenshot on the internet and try to get Rudy taken down. The same old shit for the last 10 years. And I sit here and I always just kind of eat my tacos at night and waffle fries, and I think to myself, oh, it's just another cog in the machine, just another release of a card product, and I like to watch everyone's emotions run around. And at the time, I think Twilight Masquerade boxes were online for like maybe $105 a box. Maybe you can get them in bulk on some other LGSs and stores for maybe like $101, maybe even $100. Nothing crazy. There's not a lot of excitement. There's not a lot of margin. There's just really not a lot of excitement in Pokemon at release because every store gets a lot of product, and there's not really anything special about prices higher or lower. It's just, it is what it is. If you want a couple boxes, I'll charge you a higher price because of shipping logistics. If you want cases, you get a cheaper price. And it's, at the time, I always watch it. I always save it all, and I always like to go back to those posts. I like to kind of read the attitude of everybody. And suddenly, out of nowhere, this was an interesting development. The last few weeks, probably the last 2 weeks, the Twilight Masquerade set has gone nuts. Yes, the single cards and some of the chase cards are driving this excitement, but the actual sealed products just hit $125 a box plus tax. That's almost $140 shipped with taxes and fees and TCG Player for the newest Pokemon box. I haven't seen that happen since Sword and Shield era. Probably like maybe a Brilliant Stars, maybe an Evolving Skies a release. I have not seen a Pokemon set, the newest set, jump and behave and reprice as quickly since the Sword and Shield era. It's the first time I've seen it happen immediately. And of course, I really wasn't paying attention, but I knew because in the last few days, all of a sudden, I have about 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15. Wow. Why does everybody keep asking me? Why are patrons, hey, Rudy, will you sell me some cases of Twilight Masquerade for the same price as your sale last time? Hey, Rudy, will you sell me 2 cases? Will you sell me 4 cases? Will you sell me 1? Like, I know when I start seeing it, I just, open up another tab, go to TCG Player and say, oh, what the hell's going on? And it's usually the same thing. The market is repricing a product, and now everybody's getting FOMO and freaking out because they realize, holy shit, I was going to wait for this to tank. I thought I'd had 6 months, maybe a year, maybe a year and a half, and I was going to wait a long time. Because, what's the point of buying Pokemon boxes when they're dead money at release? You never buy Pokemon at release, was like the meme, right? And, the market has a funny way of humbling and shifting and kind of making fools of us many times in life, everybody. And yeah, unfortunately, we are now experiencing a very interesting shakeup where a lot of people maintain the attitude of don't buy a Pokemon at release, it's dead money, wait 6 months to a year. So you have softer demand at release. So unlike Magic, Pokemon usually has the softest demand on release day. Okay, in stores, remember, wholesale Pokemon boxes are like 95 to maybe 101 a box. Okay, so when stores and TCG players selling boxes for 100, 105, 110, 115, even 120, the public acts like they're getting ripped off, or they think, oh, Rudy, my LGS charges like 129. Can you believe that? Oh my God. God forbid they make 20% on you in a store. And we have this very utopian, distorted attitude of the way Pokemon is and Magic and release boxes and prices, and it's a very challenging battlefield. And I'll tell you all the same thing I tell other LGSs and owners all the time. You are not in the business, if you're trying to run a store, to try to be everyone's best friend. You cannot do that. In order to be the flavor of the month or be posted on the hot MySpace website of the cheapest price in the country or something, you're going to have to either take losses or do publicity stunts that cause you to lose money if you want to be known as the cool guy who gives the cheapest price. And it's historically not a good business model. You don't really want to be friends with a lot of these types of individuals because they will turn on you immediately when some product swings or if you don't have enough or the product upticks and you can't get it. Those type of individuals are very single-serving friends and customers anyways. But back to the Twilight Masquerade Eyes Wide Shut situation. This is the first time we've seen Scarlet and Violet really break the trend of that. Obviously being led by some of the single cards that are spiking in value and being demanded for and played or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter what the variable is. The point is it is happening on a new Scarlet Violet set. And it hasn't happened before. That doesn't matter what caused it. This is just happening. So, it can have a bigger impact than everyone thinks, because now for the first time ever, all future Pokemon releases of Scarlet Violet, people are going to say, well, we usually all wait a year because it's dead money at the beginning. It only goes down. But now you're always going to have that, well, hang on a second, but here comes the what if. You're going to have the what if of now we've seen a Scarlet Violet set come out and just kind of pop upwards. Since we never had that before, nobody mentally assumed that was possible with an SV set. Now that trend has been kind of fractured, people are going to view future sets differently, and most likely, stores and customers are going to think differently on future Scarlet Violet sets. Even if the next 5 sets come out and they all just tank. The point is, people know at any time these things can turn on a dime. We now have Paldea Evolved Mr. P, set in SVO2, at 135, 140 plus tax. Okay, now we have Twilight Eyes Wide Shut at 125 plus tax. We are seeing multiple Scarlet Violet sets actually perform very well, and these products aren't even 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 years old. These products are new. Okay, there's nothing in Scarlet Violet that's even 2, 3 years old. These are not old products. Okay, what was it, from last year to this year? I mean, this is nothing really that, we're not talking in the grand scheme of Pokemon and collectibles and life and humans and meat popsicles and aliens. We're talking grains of sand in amount of time here. And, humans lose sight of that. And that's one of the fallacies of being human and a collector, investor, and evil person, everything, is that it's very easy to overanalyze the days and weeks. And we lose sight of the months, the years, and the decades, because we all have finite timelines and we share the same destiny of death. And that is just part of being human. And it tends to lead us to zooming in more than we should be doing. And it tends to lead people to make the decisions that they shouldn't, that are led by emotions, because you're freaking out, because you see a chart in TCG Player with a line that goes down, and you're going, oh my God, I knew I shouldn't have bought that Pokemon set. And you're not understanding, and you're not believing in the long game. And coming from a dude who's been doing this for so long, it's embarrassing, and has more Pokemon sealed boxes than anyone I've ever met in my life. I would be willing to challenge anyone out there, if anyone out there even has more sealed Pokemon boxes at this point than I do. And I don't think anything's changed. I just want people to be aware. Yes, I'm acknowledging, I'm aware. You guys can stop sending me a ton of messages on it. Twilight Masquerade has definitely fractured the stigma of new Pokemon releases being weak, flat, and dead money. You should always wait. We now have a strange shakeup in this SV era. Doesn't mean the future sets are going to be better or perform better, but it's definitely a kind of a wake-up call for a lot of people who are trying to time the market. And I think that's the key takeaway on that. Obviously, the end of the video, what do we have coming up here? We got Shrouded Fate, which was delayed, coming up in the next few weeks. I think I've got like 22 or 25 pallets of ETBs coming, and it's going to be very hot. Specialty Pokemon sets are always good. The worst case scenario, they stay flat. Best case scenario, people love them and go crazy with them in a few years. That is just how they are. Sometimes we get a second wave reprint, sometimes we don't. It's a 50-50 shot. You know, I'm still waiting on my Pokemon 151 English reprint, please. I got no ETBs, I don't have any of it. Blister, booster boxes, any of it. Still waiting. Not feeling good about it. That's about it, everybody. Obviously, full disclosure, the Rudy position and my goal is between, you know, obviously the 2,000 to 3,000, 4,000 booster boxes of every SV set, because I believe long term, well, one of two possible outcomes. You guys will make fun of me as the biggest bag holder of Scarlet Violet, or once again, people will be talking about history and historical crazy things about the Rudy Pokemon bathroom of Scarlet Violet era. So we'll see and let time take care of it. Hope you all have a beautiful day. But yeah, and moving into August here, we'll have the new Pokemon set for you guys and all the patrons, and thanks for watching. And I'd say probably September. I don't want to call it this early. I haven't mentioned it yet. This is the first time I mentioned it. Probably September-ish. We will be doing another Pokemon throwback loyalty sale. This time will probably be, I'm thinking something like Lost Origins. Maybe something like that from Sword and Shield for the patrons. Maybe like ETBs. We'll do the cases again. And obviously we'll price them as low as like $21 for like a Lost Origins ETB, which is probably less than half the market price. You get a case, you'll get like $200 off market if you're a long-term patron, and maybe only $50 off market if you're short-term patron. So we do have the next Pokemon loyalty sale coming up too, but we also have the Magic loyalty sale coming up first. So thanks for watching, folks. Remember, I don't have sponsors. It's just viewers like you all and patrons who support me. Thanks for watching, everybody. Y'all have a beautiful day.